They watched for centuries, silent, still, unseen. Above the earth, beyond the moons, they waited in silver shells cloaked in gravity shadows and ion static. Their mission was observation, non-interference, patience forged by eons of cautious evolution. Contact, they believed, should never be made with the loud ones, the reckless, the unpredictable. They called us volatile, brilliant, yes, but wild. Too quick to burn, too prone to war. They studied our art and our violence with equal awe and dread. In their long, whispered councils they agreed. Humanity must never be provoked, but neither must they be touched. They believed distance would be safety. But they didn't understand how far a human would go, just to say hello. We didn't know about them, not at first. But we suspected. Flickers in telescope arrays. Satellite data corrupted by bursts of strange radiation. Ships vanishing near Lagrange points with no debris. Some called it ghosts. Some, government lies. But we kept looking. We always look. When our sunflowers reach for light, when our children ask about stars, we look. It's in our bones. Curiosity deeper than instinct. The hunger not just to explore, but to connect. The first message wasn't sent with grandeur. It was a whisper across the void, binary code from a forgotten outpost on Europa's crust. One of our rovers had picked up a pattern. It shouldn't have been there. It pulsed, precise, elegant, unnatural. We answered. It took weeks, then months, then a year before they replied. A tone, a harmonic frequency that sang through solar wind. We translated it, just a name. Not theirs. Ours. Human. They had seen us. Named us. Watched us grow. Some panicked. Military silos activated. Protocols engaged. Old fears resurfaced. Of invasion, of colonization, of being lesser. But others, we wept. Not from fear. From relief. We were not alone. They didn't come down. That wasn't their way. They hovered, barely visible to even our most advanced scopes. Their ships shimmered like mirages behind veils of energy. But we weren't content with mystery. We built. First, faster shuttles. Then light-skipping drives. We poured entire economies into the dream. Not for war. Not for conquest. But for the chance, the simple, impossible chance, to meet them. To say, we're here too. They watched it all, confused. Why did we risk so much? Why climb when there was no promise of safety? They did not yet understand. It took 20 years to reach their orbit. We didn't arrive with weapons. We arrived with poetry. A single pod carrying one human. Her name was Alara, a linguist born deaf, who spoke with her hands and her heart more fluently than most spoke with words. They did not expect her. They had no protocol for touch. Alara floated before their shimmering craft, helmet off, arms open. No broadcast. No demand. Only a smile. And a wave. They hesitated. Then slowly the veil shimmered and opened. What emerged was not monstrous. Not divine. They had eyes like ours. Faces, limbs, breath. Different, but familiar in a way that made the stars feel smaller. One of them stepped forward, slender, trembling. It extended a limb, echoing her gesture. Alara touched it, gently, and laughed. That sound changed them. For beings who studied everything, who measured every possibility, they had never planned for joy. They learned our language. Not just our syntax, but our tones. Our contradictions. The way we wept when we loved too much. The way we danced when words failed. We taught them what it meant to hug. To argue. To forgive. They invited more of us. Slowly. Cautiously. We didn't flood them. We offered only those willing to listen. We didn't colonize. We shared. A teacher from Kenya brought them riddles. A child from Brazil brought paper cranes. A baker from Beirut brought spices, and taught them how to knead memory into bread. They didn't understand hunger, until they tasted Earth's cinnamon and remembered dreams they never had. In return, they gave us knowledge, techniques to heal tissue with light, methods to grow food from sound. But more than that, they gave us a mirror. You are not like us, they said. You burn too brightly. But maybe that is your gift. They hadn't meant to love us. But they did. Because we didn't wait for permission. We climbed. And when their leaders resisted, when fear tightened its grip, we told stories. Around fires on shared moons, we told them about our past, our scars. Not to justify, but to offer truth. We are messy, one elder said, his hands folded in lap. But so is life. That moved them. Their youngest, those raised after Alara's contact, began asking questions their ancestors never dared. What if we are not watchers, but participants? What if the point of knowing is not to avoid pain, but to hold someone through it? They built a station with us, half earth steel, half their luminous alloy. It floated between our worlds, tethered by nothing but trust. We called it Hope's Threshold. And there, for the first time, both species looked not up, but out, together. We sang. They listened. Then they sang back. Their music was crystalline, vibrating in frequencies that felt like memory and prophecy all at once. It wrapped around our old folk songs until something new was born, something that didn't belong to one world or the other. It belonged to us, together. Now, our children play in gravity that was once alien. They learn words in two tongues. They build art from metals that never existed on Earth. Their lullabies echo across the stars, not in fear, but in celebration. We still climb, but not to escape, not to conquer, just to greet, because that's who we are. When they watched from the stars, they thought distance would protect them. But we turned distance into a bridge. They thought silence was safety. We answered it with a hello. And now, the stars are full of voices. Ours among them, always singing, always reaching, always home.